What's going on, guys? Welcome to the first episode of UHHH7 Fantasy Pod. I'm here with Nathan and James, and we're here to talk about some fantasy football.
Hell yeah, let's get it started.
Week 1. All right, so basically we're just going to talk about our league, go over some key points, talk about trades. We're also going to give some hot takes. I know everybody has their own, and James and Nathan have their own, and we'll just get right into it. So, Week 1. Big game tonight. Chiefs and Ravens. First of all, who you guys got winning?
Nathan, I'm going to defer this to you first.
Oh, me first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you got something?
This is tough because I had Lamar last year. I want Lamar to win, but he's not going to. Because on Pat McAfee today, it said Reed and Mahomes is 4-1 against Harbaugh and Jackson. That's. I mean, you can't really go against that.
Yeah, I'm going to have to piggyback that. I got Chiefs tonight.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a competitive, close game. I think all these primetime games always are. Like, you remember, I think it was Chiefs-Lions last year. That was a hell of a game. That was fun to watch. But, you know, the Chiefs they're going to win. It's primetime, first game of the season. Just won the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes is going to show up like he always does. And they're going to take care of business. What about you, Austin?
I'm expecting a big night from Travis Kelce. There's no Marquise Brown tonight. If I remember correctly, he's hurt. So Travis Kelce should be getting a lot of touchdowns.
James is not like that.
You don't?
I think, not that they're not going to involve Travis Kelce,
wrong.
But I think with his age, there's going to be a certain amount of load management that keeps him fresh for the playoffs. And I think maybe because primetime game, it's important against Baltimore. You could absolutely be right. I mean, it's Travis goddamn Kelce and Patrick Mahomes. But load management is going to be a big thing for him this year because he's older. And Rashee Rice is a favorite by Patrick Mahomes.
I've been hearing this every night for the past week. I'm not even.
I'm not going to oversaturate this podcast with my talk about Rashee Rice because I can go on about it forever. I think he's literally going to be projected like 17 points per game at the end of the season. But
okay,
that is a take for sure.
That's a take. We're getting into the hot ones.
You know what? We might as well just start with the hot takes since we're already talking about it.
Go ahead.
So, James, what do you think Rashee Rice is going to end up with tonight?
Ooh, tonight, I mean, it's a stingy defense for Baltimore. I mean, it might be just the Mahomes and Kelce show. However,
I hope.
I think there's going to be a lot of Rice. And I think there's going to be a lot of the Chiefs running the ball. Pacheco is going to have a huge role.
Yes. Pacheco's going to be good.
I think it's McKinnon that's not there anymore.
Correct.
If I'm correct.
CEH is there.
CEH is there, but McKinnon is gone.
There's
it's not like there's three people to feed anymore. Mm-hmm. So Pacheco's just going to stomp all over this game, I think. It could easily be a high-scoring game. It could easily be 17-14 final. But I think no matter what, Pacheco's going to be all over this game. Holmes. Hopefully Mark Andrews on the Baltimore side.
It's depending on what the offenses decide to do. Like if Chiefs go out there first drive, Pacheco gets 7 carries. Like it's going to be a 17-14 game.
Yeah.
But if one of the offense starts passing, the other one has to, and that favors Rashee Rice.
That does favor Rashee Rice.
It favors Rashee Rice and Kelce, but you would like it to favor Rashee Rice.
I mean,
so it's really dependent on what the offenses do. The first one, anyway.
Passing the ball does also favor the Chiefs because the Ravens can't really pass the ball because who are they going to throw to other than Zay Flowers? So, I mean, you could throw the ball to Mark Andrews, but he's also very, very, very interesting when it comes to fantasy football with Mark Andrews.
He is, and I don't know if the Chiefs want to be interested in getting into a slow game where they're going to run the ball, grind out the clock against a team that just acquired Derrick Henry, who already had a good rushing attack with their Heisman backfield a couple of years ago that went viral, or even just the fact that the Chiefs lost L'Jarius Sneed. That points towards a better Baltimore passing attack, especially with the threat of Derrick Henry. That play action is going to be crazy. Lamar's going to use his legs. I think the Ravens could score a lot with a worsened Chiefs defense. I mean, they always do show up and make plays by the time the game ends, but I think Chiefs should try to get themselves into a shootout if they can. They should try to outscore. Yeah, with a worsened defense, it favors them to get into a shootout.
I would say it favors them. So you're looking for a big night from Rice.
Yep, big night.
Okay, that's a call.
All right. Well, moving on from tonight's game, I think we should also talk about what's going to happen on Sunday and Friday because we have multiple games
Yeah,
throughout the week because now we have Friday games. So
Hell yeah.
that is awesome.
Is that consistent throughout the year? No, it's not, is it?
I don't know.
It might
actually
just be a first weekend.
It could
thing.
just
They
be a
do
first
it
weekend
last
thing.
weekend of the season too.
Okay.
when they get into flex games and
I
stuff
just
like that, it
Might
does.
have sounded stupid, but I just.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be cool.
I hope so.
While we're on the takes, I want to give one.
Yeah, let's hear it. Let the fans hear the jokes.
I think Aiden Kerr's team is a lot better than everybody is saying it is.
Why?
Let me pull it up. I'm sorry. I
I'm-
recall in the group chat the other day, and we'll get into this later with the trade block. Aiden Kerr's entire team is
Yes.
up for trade.
So I will also say that as well.
So you believe in his team more than he does.
I do believe in his team more than he does. He texted me and he said, my entire team is up for trade. Except for one player.
Who?
Except
Garrett
for
Wilson.
one player, and that
Right?
player
Or it
would
might
be...
Lamar.
No, it is Garrett
That's
Wilson.
Garrett Wilson.
So,
I mean, that's a take that I had before we started this podcast. I said
You did
we
say
could
that.
easily be looking back at Garrett Wilson saying he was extremely undervalued. He has Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, and we could easily, by the end of the year, when the playoffs are coming, see that we're playing Aiden Kerr in the playoffs, and Garrett Wilson is projected
For
20, 22
for 20,
points.
for at least 20.
I mean, if you look at his team, he's got Lamar Jackson, who can arguably be the QB1 by the end of the year. Like, that's...
Yeah, no,
he
could
MVP
literally be the
easily could
QB1.
be.
He also has ETN and James Conner. James Conner is supposed to be very good this year. I don't know about ETN. ETN he's a very good back, but he was kind of iffy last year.
He got some lucky big carries, I think, and I don't know. Trevor Lawrence has just seemed to decline like no other. So depends.
That is confusing.
Depends a lot on what Trevor Lawrence has to do this year. And he's also got T. Higgins, which, I mean, before last year, T. Higgins was the wide receiver 1B for the Cincinnati Bengals, who had just had such a good passing attack with Joe Burrow, and he just drops back 3 steps and already knows where he wants to go with the ball. So T can easily be averaging 18 points a game, just from his shot plays downfield, getting touchdowns. He's a big target down there.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you look at his IR, Aiden Kerr has Nick Chubb sitting in the IR. So
And
he
he
could
has
come back
Hawkinson,
playoff time.
too.
He
For
also
the-
has Hawkinson too.
For the playoffs, it might be a situation where Aiden Kerr, you get into the playoffs. Hawk should be back. Nick Chubb, just pray, I guess. He shattered his
Nick
knee
Chubb
completely.
is a sore subject.
Yeah,
He's-
that I would know a lot about that one.
Yeah.
Austin fainted when he
Austin.
saw
I
that
did
injury.
faint when I saw that
He
injury.
blacked out.
That is kind of crazy.
That was funny.
So yeah, I do think Aiden Kerr's team is going to be a lot better. You know, he has Dalton Schultz as well, who's going to score a lot of touchdowns like he did last year. Hopefully he still gets the same load. I know it's a little tough because they do have Stephon Diggs now
Yeah,
receiving
it's
the
gonna be
ball,
tough.
but I do think Dalton Schultz is one of those tight ends that scores the touchdowns. I think he's going to
Wilson-
provide some points.
Wilson, Godwin, and Flowers are 3 decent wide receivers.
Yeah, I know,
Like,
and-
those aren't bad receivers.
Correct. Zay Flowers is the only option at receiver on his team.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
Besides-
it's not a bad
It's not a bad team.
receiving core.
it's really not.
And he's going up against
And Higgins. Like those are good.
he's going up against Nate this week. Nate is projected to win by 6. I think we should start looking at matchups, give
Okay.
predictions.
I agree.
I'm going to get the ball rolling here. We're talking about Aiden Kerr's team. Looking at Nate's, I did say, Pacheco could have an impact on this game, but they might want to pass the ball a lot to stay out in front, keep the shootout going. I just, to be completely honest, hate Nate Cominoli. And I'm going with Aiden Kerr this week.
Okay.
I think I'm also going to pick Aiden Kerr this week.
I feel like that's a very biased pick.
It
Bless
is.
you, Nate.
Okay.
That is a biased pick.
So we have 2 for AJK, none for Nate.
Do
Yeah.
it. Do it. Do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Nate.
All right.
All
I'll
right.
take Nate.
You know, that's okay.
I'll take Nate.
And I know, Garrett, you did go over these matchups, but we're going to give our opinions too because This is
I
the
didn't
pod.
see his episode, so he's
Oh,
not influencing
So
me at all.
this is no
Actually,
influence.
actually
No
really
influence.
Same, Garrett. I
I'm
have
sorry,
not watched
we're
it yet.
busy.
I
I don't look at the group chat.
I
Yeah,
did
It's
watch
my bad.
the episode, Garrett. Great first episode. Thank you for getting that out for
Yeah,
us.
thank you.
We appreciate
We'll watch it.
Next matchup. It's rewind time, which is Sheree
Oh,
versus
right.
Super DeMario Bros,
Mhm.
which is, I believe, Nathan Donnelly.
That is me. Yes, correct.
So-
what do you got?
I'm sorry, Nathan. I'm going to have to go with Sheree.
Okay.
The stack of Olave, Bijan, and Michael Pittman Jr., I think is just deadly. I think that is so... Oh, wait. Sorry, I think that is... It's just going to accumulate so many points.
Okay.
I don't
Wait,
see
you
a
said
way...
Bijan, Olave, and Pittman?
Yeah.
Okay.
Those
got
three
it.
guys, I think, are going to combine a lot of points. Just that in enough itself, I feel like, can beat you. Because there's also Stephon Diggs, and we don't know what Stephon Diggs is going to bring.
You have no idea. what
No
Stephon
idea.
Diggs-
He might be the biggest question mark receiver in the entire league.
Well, I mean, before he left Buffalo, they had such a problem getting him the ball that they relegated him to the slot.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, you really have no idea what's
Dude,
going to
they
happen
put-
with him. They could put him in the fucking slot, and he might be their slot guy. I actually should have looked at something like that just to understand maybe the volume he's going to get. But regardless, it might be an old version of Michael Thomas slant man from Stephon Diggs this year. You don't know.
It's true.
So, who do you guys think in the Texans' first game will catch the ball and play better more, Diggs or Nico Collins?
Nico Collins.
Okay.
Who are they
James,
even
hey,
playing?
James, hint, I have Nico Collins.
Okay.
He's trying to influence you.
I don't need to
I can't-
influence him.
I can't-
He's going to pick me.
I can't say anything that isn't a guess. So I'm going to say Nico Collins because he's the wide receiver one already. But
Not a captain.
let me
though.
give my pick for this game. It's rewind time. Super DeMario Bros. Personally, I think Sheree could have a great team with that wide receiver core, but I think this is just a bad team. And I think Sheree didn't do his research. I don't think Sheree knew what he was doing going into the draft.
No.
He made the worst mistake out of anyone by drafting Chris Olave. I mean, that's someone that everyone circled on their draft board and said don't draft. I mean, he's obviously got the talent, but if last year's any indication of this year, he's just not going to get the ball in good enough situations. I mean, we all see how many times they target Alvin Kamara on like a 5-yard route as opposed to take any kind of shot downfield with Chris Olave. And he's going to get locked up. But I hope he does very well this year. Sheree, don't get me wrong. If Olave pans out, you have a great team. We know AR-15 loves Michael Pittman Jr. They literally
Oh my
have
gosh.
matching shirts.
It's like peanut butter and
of
jelly,
them
man.
as the
Just
stepbrothers. I mean, you look back at the first 5 weeks of the season, there's a game where Pittman has 16 targets. I mean, that's volume, and you're going to get points every time you get that. You better hope Olave doesn't average 10 points a week.
I mean, even when Gardner Minshew was the starting quarterback for the Indiana Colts, like Michael Pittman was getting the ball and he was scoring still.
Yeah, I think
He's still an elite receiver in this league, I believe.
Absolutely. Pittman had some weeks where a touchdown saved him. I think
Right.
he had a
Oh,
couple
yes.
weeks where he had a touchdown and he scored like 17,
Yeah.
18. I mean, those are dud weeks without the touchdown.
But that's
But-
with Gardner Minshew. Like, he's
That's
not
what-
getting him the ball as much as Anthony Richardson is. And when you look at when he played with Anthony Richardson, dude, he's put up like 27 points, 20 points. Like, he's a good receiver. And I think he's only going to be better this year if Anthony Richardson stays healthy.
Yeah.
But that has to happen.
And I don't want to shit on your team too much, Sheree. I don't personally like Ramondre Stevenson.
I don't either.
I hope he does all right. It looks like he slowed down a step last year. But if you want me to give my matchup prediction, to be completely honest, I'm going to bank on the upside, getting help from Trey McBride against a horrible Bills pass defense this week that Nathan brings this in. I think if Sheree's wide receivers play how they can, obviously Bijan's going to pencil in his 20. But I think if Sheree's wide receivers perform, he can win. but I think Trey McBride might have an insane week against a Bills defense that's missing Matt Milano. We cleaned house. Obviously, we got younger and faster, but I say we. Obviously, I'm a Bills fan, but I don't have any faith with anybody. We have DeMar Hamlin starting this week.
You have DeMar Hamlin. What is
That
he?
is interesting.
Free safety?
That is really
He's one of
interesting.
your
Our free
safeties, right?
safety is DeMar Hamlin
Yeah.
this week. I think Trey McBride might be on watch to put up like 2 touchdowns.
Well, no, because they still have Maserati Marv. So I'm just saying, McBride. Oh,
Sorry, just we have to call.
can you do it on yours?
Yeah.
McBride will still be good. Sorry for my phone stopped recording our POV. McBride will still be good even with Marv. I'm hoping. It's the thing is that I'm trying to figure this out. I was going back and forth whether Austin I should have started Jake Ferguson or if I start Jaden Reed against Philly. And I think I'm gonna end up doing Jaden Reed because Ferguson now has CeeDee Lamb on his
Right.
offense.
Right.
And you play the Niners?
Week 1?
Yeah.
No, we play Cleveland.
Cleveland? Oh, I knew it was either Niners or Cleveland. They're both because both of those defenses are great.
Yeah, they are. Very annoying
Philly
defenses to play
defense
against.
has had holes in the past. Like last year, they went through a stretch where their pass defense was horrendous, if I remember correctly. Jaden Reed, I'm probably gonna end up playing Jaden Reed. I have Stroud stack. I love Stroud and Collins.
That is really good. That
Yes.
Stroud and Collins stack is
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
CMC 1-1. I'm taking myself, obviously.
There you go.
All right. Well, Nathan, your favorite to win that matchup on this podcast.
Thank you.
Next matchup is Let James Cook versus Niners QB room, which is James Derrick versus Sean Stevenson. I'm going to say it. Sean, you have the worst team in the league by a landslide. It's not even close. I'm sorry. I love you, dude. Your team sucks. I'm taking Let James Cook, and that's all I have to say about it.
Yeah, I don't have much else to say besides give me my team. I just think one sleeper on your team is Evan Ingram. He got tons of targets on the Jags. Too reliant on Trevor Lawrence to be good for that, though. Give me my team by a lot.
Coming out of draft night, I agreed. I said you have the best drafted team, so I am going with you. I think the only way Sean wins is if DeMonte runs into like 2 1-yard touchdowns. I think that's the only way he wins.
Yeah.
Respectfully.
Yeah.
Or if like Jaden Daniels runs for like 120 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, we have no idea
Which
what he can
is.
do.
Yeah, that's true. He's the wild card. He is nuts. Him and Ingram, we have no idea what that could be. But I am taking James.
Yeah. I just will say it is hard to pick your team, Sean.
It is. It's hard.
You have a rookie quarterback starting. You have Derrick Henry, and we have no idea what the hell he's gonna do productivity-wise.
Yeah, we don't know how
We know he's a
if
big
taken
body.
Step back.
Right. We know he's a big body and he's a great player, but what the hell is he gonna produce? You know. Rashid White. That's not bad. That's really not a bad player. I like that one. AJ Brown. That's a great receiver. Jalen Waddle. He's a wide receiver 2 on his team.
I mean, Derrick Henry is the second best running back on his team.
Yeah.
Behind Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. I mean, Lamar Jackson
No,
is
I'm
literally
not
the running
even-
back.
I'm not even
That's
joking.
not even a joke. That's
I'm not even joking.
he's saying this in all seriousness. Looking
Yeah.
at me right now, Derrick Henry's the second best back in his team.
He's the second best runner on his team.
And then like you have David Montgomery, who's got Jahmyr Gibbs way ahead of him, and he's probably not going to be playing as much as he did last year because Jahmyr Gibbs is in year 2, and we know how good he can be. So that's really all I have to say. I'm sorry, Sean. It's just not looking up for you this year. Moving on to the next one. We got Free Zookles, which is Mr. Amy. What up, Dave? And Clint Flickers versus Smaze. Low bro. I'm going to go with Unk this one. I think Smaze got this one in the bag pretty easily. I do really, really, really like Mr. Amy's running backs, like a lot,
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
but his receivers do scare me.
Yeah,
And that
lots
is
of
why
Philly.
I'm going to take Sean here because his team is very, very well rounded.
Yeah,
I think he's the best team in the league.
Yeah, sorry. There's just lots of Philly on Ramey's team, and one thing that I said in the group chat after this draft is Clint Flickers snuck by with one of the most talented teams in this draft.
Yeah.
Just look at the talent on every single one of these guys. I mean, we know what Kamara does, regardless of how well he rushes. He's gonna get his targets, even on a shitty team. He'll get more targets than Olave some weeks. Aaron Jones, we really don't know how he's going to do, but we know who Aaron Jones is. Same thing, Amon-Ra, pencil in 20.
Yeah.
Devontae Adams, he's been facing a lot of questions about whether he likes it in Las Vegas. He said a couple days ago that he's happy there. He wants to be there. He's going to perform.
I'd say
especially after an
Devontae at
offseason
least.
with the new coach that everyone likes.
I would say Devontae Adams at least scores 15 points, and I'd be surprised if it was anything lower this
At
week.
least,
And
yeah.
then you look below that, and you have George Kittle, who everyone is saying is going to have a bounce back year. And then you look below that, and you have probably the best athletic specimen in the NFL.
DK Metcalf.
Metcalf.
He eats like Skittles for breakfast and lunch. It's stupid.
It doesn't make any sense.
But the thing is,
It's so stupid.
obviously, I think I'm picking against Mr. Ramey every week. But Sean
That's
Mays,
crazy.
you drafted an amazing team, and you shouldn't even be fielding trades.
I would
Just
not take a
play.
single trade if I were you. Smays, you literally have Keenan Allen, Mostert on your bench. Chuba Hubbard is also on your bench, who is going to be the leading back because Brooks is just injury prone. So, I mean, Brooks is very good, but I think Hubbard could also be producing for Carolina, depending on if Brooks is playing or not.
Yeah, James pretty much covered everything. Kamara is a reception merchant. Sean had to sneak in a little Luke Musgrave pick there at the end. Didn't he?
Yeah.
He had to pick him.
It's necessary.
It's also weird though because it's ironic. Zookle's Ramdog has a lot of Eagles on his team, and the Eagles play the Packers
Mm-hmm.
this week. I don't know. I just thought that was weird. I don't really have any takes other than that. I'm also picking Gramps, if you will.
Gramps.
I'm picking Gramps.
All right. So, I think you got that one in the bag, Smays.
Who we got left? We got Garrett and you.
Next, we have Aiden Good versus George.
Oh, okay.
This
gonna
is
say
like,
this for
this
this.
might be, in my opinion, this is matchup of the week.
This will be a good one.
I don't remember what Garrett you had as matchup of the week. I'm unsure, but I think this is going to be the
This is
closest game. I'm going to have to pick George. Just because, is Jamar Chase even playing?
You might get fucked.
Yeah. Aiden Good, I don't know why you would take Jamar Chase. I'm sorry.
I mean,
He's a great player, but
Jamar Chase is a fine pick, Aiden. Just, you're going to get unlucky maybe the first week, maybe first two. If it's any more than that, just delete the app. But give me George. I think Aiden just has too many question marks about his team. Kyle Pitts could be amazing,
Or he could
but
suck.
or he could suck. Jalen Warren, he's just. I mean, that's just a bad situation.
I didn't like that when I looked at it.
But give me George. I think George's team might be a little undervalued kind of at the moment because we don't know about Drake London, and I think Dalton Kincaid is going to be very, very good. But then again, he also has like Kenneth Walker and George Pickens to balance that out. I think Kenneth Walker was getting sniped by Zach Charbonnet.
He was.
Zach Charbonnet.
Zach Charbonnet,
He took a lot of work from K9. I mean, when K9 got a little banged up, I mean, Charbonnet took all the snaps. And he gets the receiving work over Kenneth Walker, too. But that's all I have to say. I am gonna take George. I hope George's team pans out well.
I will preface with you took George too, Austin?
I did.
Unfortunately I am gonna take George as well. I feel like Aiden wins if Debo has one of those crazy Debo weeks.
Yeah.
Because he can have them.
Debo could have easily
Absolutely.
26
Debo
points.
Can have crazy Debo weeks.
Yeah.
I think that's the only way he wins. I
I
like
agree.
Aiden's team though because he has my favorite NFL player, Lad McConkey.
Glad.
And he tanked for Caleb Williams, and it worked.
And it worked. Except he's
George
starting
had
Anthony
to sneak in
Richardson.
Dalton Kincaid. I love that. I was gonna snipe him, but I didn't. He would have been mad at me.
I think I don't know if I'm remembering this correctly, but it's like he reached on Kincaid a tiny bit, if I'm thinking back correctly. But you can never reach too far, I think, for a tight end that you know is going to get a great share.
That's
a good team.
is gonna get.
That is why I
targets.
took Travis Kelce in the 3rd round.
Yeah. Travis Kelce is a wide receiver. Like he
Yeah,
doesn't
he
do any
is.
like line of scrimmage blocking.
No.
Like Kittle does.
No.
Kittle is
Or like
one
Mark
of the
Andrews
best-
too, like Andrews
yeah,
and Kittle.
Like Andrews. Like those are big guys who like to block at the line of scrimmage and aren't necessarily like pass catching tight ends.
They enjoy blocking.
Travis Kelce's a wide receiver.
He's a wide receiver.
Kyler Murray has rushing upside for George too. He has James Conner. Now he has Maserati to throw to.
Kyler Murray's going to have a great week.
He'll be a threat in the Buffalo secondary. The other starting safety for Buffalo is a rookie too, isn't he? Didn't we talk about this the other day?
No,
Or is he
no.
Second year.
It's Rapp.
Taylor Rapp.
I don't know what year Rapp is. He's someone new. He was always playing behind Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, obviously.
So those are good guys to learn from. But
what I was hoping for, I was hoping for a Cole Bishop start. Obviously, he's hurt, so we got the ambulance starting.
He's my second favorite NFL
But
player.
no, Rap should be good. I'm not going to ramble on about the Bills. This is about fantasy football.
It is about fantasy
But
football.
I'm going to try not to throw up during the game this week. Might make it
Yeah,
absurdly close for
DeMar
Bills.
Hamlin, I'm sorry, bro. You're getting cooked this week.
George's bench, he has Marquise. Marquise is out this week. We talked about
Yeah,
that.
he is
Okay,
out this week, yeah.
Confirming. Cortland Sutton is the wide receiver 1 for Denver, right? Am I stupid?
Yeah, but who's throwing the ball to him?
Who's throwing the ball to him? He's still
Bo Nix.
the best wide receiver.
Is
on the
No,
team.
Bo Nix is not starting, isn't
I thought he was. Because it's Zach Wilson that got benched. There's an interview with Zach Wilson.
It's not Bo Nix either, though.
Where actually Zach Wilson took it very well, but I think it's Stidham
Yeah.
that also got benched.
Oh,
Because
you're
there's an
right. No,
interview
it is
where he
it
was
is Bo
very,
Nix. I'm
very,
sorry. You're
very
right. It is Bo
salty
Nix.
No,
that
it's
he got
Nix.
benched.
It is Bo Nix, yes.
Yeah, it's Nix.
Yeah, it is Nix.
All right.
Okay.
To move on
we
from
gotta
this
move on.
matchup,
Yeah, sorry.
the one last thing that I will say, George, you have CeeDee Lamb, and I think he's going to lead the entire fantasy football season in points this year. I think he's going to have the most points at the end of the fantasy season. Because who the hell else is getting the ball in Dallas?
Rico Dowdle.
Jake Ferguson.
Not those guys. So that is
All right,
that is what I'll say about that.
let's get us going. Last matchup.
The
Also.
last matchup is me, Austin, versus Garrett.
Give your take.
My take, this matchup's a lot closer than everybody's looking at it. I think my team is very underrated. I made a trade, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But I'm personally going to take my team. Even though Garrett's projected to win, and I do think his team is a little bit better than mine, I do think I'm going to win this game.
Nathan, you go first.
No, you go first.
Okay.
Somebody go first,
I'll
please.
take Austin too. I think the running backs could carry for Garrett. Garrett, you did draft a good team.
Yeah, I like
Pat
Jonathan
Freiermuth
Taylor.
at tight end is
Yeah, that's a tough
That's-
scene.
ooh.
Tough scene.
Yeah.
I have
We
two
we
tight
know
ends if
we
you want one.
we know what Freiermuth can do. I mean, we've seen him be productive in the past, so you just hope that projection is nothing close to what the reality is for you. Tank Dell, someone who's just not going to see the ball a lot. He's very talented. He could be very good, but you're asking him to outperform Stephon Diggs and Nico Collins. It's just a lot to ask.
That is a lot
He's
to
not
ask.
going to get any red zone targets because there's Dalton Schultz and Joe Mixon, as well as Stephon Diggs and Nico Collins. It's just a loaded offense. He's not going to have anything. And then Josh Allen, that's the bulk of your team. That's why you're projected to win.
Yeah.
And then Terry McLaurin, honestly, I hope he does very well with Jaden Daniels. I hope Terry McLaurin finally takes off the 1 year that Aiden Good does not have him. So that's all I got. I do have Austin, though.
You have Austin?
Yeah.
You have Austin. Because you're Austin.
Yes, I am Austin,
Yeah.
so I do have myself.
I mean,
But I will be honest if I think I'm going to lose a matchup.
okay. I also think you're going to lose the matchup.
Oh.
I'm going to take Garrett because unless Debo has Debo week, Ayuk is going to play well enough to stay level and play as well as he should be. Freiermuth at tight end. Freiermuth?
I say Fryer.
Freiermuth at tight end is tough. I have two tight ends. Throwing it
I am going to take Garrett because the entire Bills offense is Josh Allen. And Josh Allen is Josh Allen.
Hey, can't go wrong with that.
Nope.
Austin, what else do you got for us?
I think that's kind of it for the matchups wise that we want to talk about.
Yeah, let's talk some trades.
Yeah, I was
What
just gonna
the
get into
trade
that.
You did.
Oh, you don't even know about
I
it.
don't. I kind of.
All right, so the first trade of the year was between me and Aiden Kerr. I sent Aiden Kerr, James Conner, and Zay Flowers, and in return, I got Cooper Kupp and Javonte Williams. Now, I did this trade because I think Cooper Kupp is going to finish, and this is one of my hot takes as well, as a top 7 wide receiver. They're saying he's going to be the focal point of the offense again, and I know Puka Nacua is very, very good, but Cooper Kupp is healthy, and when Cooper Kupp is healthy, he's a Triple Crown winner, and he's very, very productive in that slot. So I liked the idea of adding Cooper Kupp to my receiver core, and I think it's going to benefit me a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, I would. I mean, if as someone who just traded for Cooper Kupp, I would just try to be hopeful as well.
So hopefully he's healthy.
Yeah, hopefully
Right.
he's healthy. I mean, we know what Cooper Kupp does. I mean, he's like a top 5 draft pick normally, but obviously Puka's there. I love Javonte.
I love Javonte.
I hope Javonte does well.
I like Javonte.
He might not do well.
Yeah, I had him last year, and he
I
was
think
kind of dog
everybody-
shit. So
I think everybody has the same view on Javonte Williams. They want him to do well. It's not very hopeful that he will, but let's hope. And then, you did give away James Conner and Zay Flowers. I mean, Zay Flowers is a focal point on that team.
a guy who I was very high on.
One of a couple. I'm not sure how high I am on Zay Flowers myself. And James Conner scores touchdowns. You just gotta hope he doesn't get injured. AJK. But
I think it's a fair trade overall.
AJK, you got some depth from that.
You did. You well needed depth.
That's what he was doing, I believe.
Yeah, well needed depth. AJK is living up to his name. He said his whole team is on the trade block, and then I'm assuming it still is. So.
Do you
That was
guys
a good
think
point.
anybody in particular won that trade, or do you think it's fairly even? I believe it's fairly even, but
I
that is also me.
also believe it's fairly even.
It's hard to grade trades.
It's hard to it's hard to grade trades right
At this
now.
point in the
It is.
year.
I mean, we will find out about Zay Flowers tonight.
We'll
that is-
we'll grade this trade next week when we meet.
Let's
Yeah,
do it. That's
a good idea.
Grade it next week.
Okay.
We'll do that.
So now, I do want to get onto the trade block. Aiden Kerr, your entire team is up for grabs. We already established this. Everybody but Garrett Wilson. In fact, you were trying to get Brees Hall off me yesterday, and we almost made a deal. So
2 Jets.
it's not somebody I'm looking to trade, but that was pretty appealing. And then Aaron Jones is available for trade, guys. So if you want to reach out and grab Aaron Jones, Smays said he's available.
Oh, Aaron Smays wants to
Huh.
give up his
You really want
former Packer,
Which is
lover,
kinda
Aaron
weird.
Jones?
Kind of weird.
Smays, I did not see that coming.
Okay.
I did not see that coming.
Might be the strongest Packer fan in the
yeah.
group chat.
I don't know. It's kind of weird.
That's unbelievable.
And then, just to kind of wrap up this episode, guys, I want to ask a few questions.
Sure.
Your
Of us?
personal thoughts,
Okay.
because I think we should predict who we think is gonna win the league, and I think we should predict who's gonna come in last.
Yeah, you can only predict who's going to win the league in week 0.
That's exactly
You can't
true.
predict after 1 week
It
or
doesn't-
2 weeks.
Because
doesn't
then
count.
it turns into an educated guess and not a
It
prediction.
doesn't count after week.
So, I will ask Nathan first. Who do you think is gonna win the league?
See, okay, that's a great question because it's the golden. I'm not gonna pick me, obviously.
I'm not gonna pick myself either.
Like the thing about my team this year is I walked away from it. Like I actually like this team. Last year I didn't do that. And I came in
You had a
11th.
horrible team last
I had a horrible team last year. It was my first year, but I had a horrible team last year. I like mine more than I did last year. I don't know what you guys feel about it, but I don't really care.
You got-
I'd have to probably choose either you, James Derrick, James Cook, or
Let him cook.
I'd either choose James or Grimes.
Okay. I think those are good picks. You know.
I guess it's time for me to give my opinion.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm going to hope that I win. I think my RB2 being the worst position on my team, I mean, that's where you want your worst position to be.
It is.
But it's a concern. Devin Singletary could average 8 points a week
Who's he
legitimately.
playing for now?
The Giants is the only running back on the Giants pretty much that's going to get a workload. But you just can't argue the talent on Sean May's team is absurd.
It's insane.
Just think about if he has this team
Yeah.
a year ago or 2 years ago when George Kittle was going crazy. I mean, like the names on this
Oh my
team
God.
aren't real, and I think Sean Mays is going to win the Fantasy Football League. At least he has the most talented team. We obviously know Ramey won last year, and that was
Holy cow.
a fluke.
That was a fluke.
That was a fluke. We are so happy you're paying this year, Mr. Amy.
Yes, we really appreciate it. That makes it a lot easier.
By the way, that's besides the point.
Austin, you still have to give us who you
For
got.
me, this is a real no-brainer. Smays is going to win this shit pretty easily, I think.
Easily.
Yeah.
Okay.
His
He's got the
team,
most
in
talented
my
team, he
opinion,
does.
that's the best fantasy team I've seen in years, bro.
He cooked.
That he really did cook on draft night. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah. Initially, like probably right after the draft to about a day after the draft, I thought you had for sure the best team.
Right.
Smays'
Me too.
team is nuts.
I did
Yeah.
I did think
Yeah.
that James had the best team initially, but after looking, Smays, your team is
It's
godly.
pretty good.
It is godly.
And he did it with a middle first round pick. That's impressive. I honestly,
What pick was it?
hats off to you.
I'm not sure.
I don't remember, but it wasn't top 3 or anything like crazy, and it could have been towards the end. But he did a great job drafting.
Yeah, it was 6. It was
Yeah.
right in the middle.
He had 6.
That's a really good job.
You have anything else for us, Mr. Austin?
Yes. Now, who do you think is gonna come in last? This one should be pretty easily. I'll go first. I think Stevie's coming in last this year. I'm sorry, Stevie, or unfortunately, Mr. Amy.
Nathan.
I don't want to. Stevie's the first choice, but I want to give one that isn't Stevie.
Sorry, we're kind of shitting on you, Stevie. There's
it's
no
unfortunate.
intention. There's no targeting. It's just
No.
you don't have a good team.
Yeah, it is. We obviously love you, but
Right.
it's not a very good team.
You know, we have our bad years. You know.
James, you go ahead.
What
I
I'm-
want to say another team, but I need to think first.
Well, what I'm just gonna say is think about why Sean May's team is so good. Have the same mindset and read the names on Stevie's team, and just think about what you feel. And what you feel is there's not the talent, not even close. I think you're gonna come in last, Sean, but I think if you're like 11A, 11B is Mr. Ramey, you also have a horrible team. And you're going to get carried by those running backs, but so many Philly players just,
Yeah.
I don't even know
What
if you're
if
going to see
Philly-
this
What if
podcast,
Philly
but
just shits the bed?
you just, I think you're too biased on draft night. You know what? If you sneak into the playoffs and
That's a
you
win.
win,
That's a win.
good for you.
If Sean finishes in the top 10, it's a win.
Yeah.
If I was Sean, I would pay attention to the trade block segment of this show.
Yeah, I would definitely keep a good eye on the trade block section of this show, because that's where you're going to find out who's available and when they're available. I also think you should keep in mind to look in the waiver wire, because you never know what's going to happen. Stevie, I'd assume you're going to be up there after week 1.
Crazy things happen.
And you never know. You can make a crazy trade and turn this whole shebang around. So you never know what's going to happen. Mr. Amy literally won the league last year. Nobody
Okay.
expected that.
My next pick after Stevie, and I'm probably gonna wrap it up so anyway. Aiden Cook.
That's okay. That is actually surprising.
I was thinking about it. I was thinking about it a lot. I mean,
Look at his team.
look at the team.
Yeah.
I mean, Anthony Richardson produces, Gibbs produces, Chase produces, but the rest of it, they can be duds. I mean,
Debo Samuel we've talked about it, the Debo weeks, but he could easily have a dud week.
you should change your name to what mine was last year, Boomer Bust Team.
No, it actually should. He has Lad McConkey though. I want to take that.
But he has Caleb Williams and he tanked for him. But he's not. But
So
you're
it
not.
was
But you're
a
not.
win.
But he's not starting him. So that's really weird.
Uh,
All right. Well, these are our takes. This has been the Fantasy Pod for week 1. If you guys have anything specific you want us to cover, text me, let me know, and we'll make sure to add it into the next podcast episode. Nathan, James, you guys have anything to say? At least sign off. At least say goodbye.
I don't got much to say. Just that I love you guys. And we're gonna try to shorten up these podcasts a little bit as the year goes on. This is our first time doing it. I don't want you guys to think that we're gonna pump out a 45-minute video every time. But
that is what this week did turn into, and I apologize.
We are trying to figure out how to do this. We're gonna get to the point. We're gonna get concise. We're gonna try to trim this to 20 minutes every week. That would be perfect. I don't think you guys can pay attention to this whole podcast.
Yeah.
But
if you did, thank you.
If you did, thank you. I'm gonna try to chop it up and divide this into sections like YouTube has it. So if you want to click in a certain section, you can just go right to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please have faith in us. We're gonna make this better.
I'm gonna do the best that of my ability to edit and produce this for everybody, and so is James and Nathan. So, we hope you guys appreciate it and you actually tune in and listen to what we have to say. And if there's anything else you want us to specifically discuss or add as a section to the pod, let me know, and we'll take your info about it. But pretty much that's it. Good luck, everybody, in week 1, and if you get your ass kicked, that sucks. Have a good week, everybody. Adios.
See you guys.